Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630.
Good morning, 8:37. This is the Morning Majority with Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, and Brian Neiman.
Well, we have Bret Baier with us this morning, checking in on a Friday to find out what's going on in politics. How's it going, Bret?
Good morning.
Well, this latest discussion about debates. Rick Perry saying, I'm not sure I have to be in all those. What do you make of the debate scene? I get a little bit early debate fatigue, but I understand that that's a personal weakness. I'm trying to overcome it.
Well, I'll say a couple things. One is, as long as they don't miss our debate, that's fine.
Right. Of course.
But secondly, listen, I can sympathize with a candidate who looks at a calendar and says, 16 debates in 12 weeks is quite a lot. And what happened was, I think, a lot of networks, a lot of places, different places, news organizations, looked at the success of the early debates, both in eyeballs and impact on the race, and they said, this is a game we need to be in. And they started, planting flags. And suddenly they looked like push pins on a map. And, they do make a difference in this campaign particularly. They have affected it. Whether the candidates show up to every one, clearly I think the Perry campaign has fired the salvo that they may not. But I talked to the Perry folks yesterday working on scheduling for the center seat segment for Governor Perry, and they are making clear that they haven't pulled out of anything. They just haven't committed to them all.
Well, will he commit to center seat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's going to
Awesome.
do it. Herman Cain is next up Tuesday. He'll be with the panel on Tuesday.
I think you played a clip on your kicker segment, the last thing, where there was one of the late night guys were saying the ratings have been so good that everybody wants to get a piece of the Republican debates, and they're going to be one on the Food Network. And
Animal
Planet, that'd be fun.
Underwater debate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you make of the rise of Herman Cain? I mean, this has been such a volatile nomination and primary process, and we haven't actually got to the voting yet. But I mean, at some point along the way, virtually everyone has been the leader, and now it's Herman Cain.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think it tells us a lot about the electorate and where the mindset is, that they're ready for somebody outside the box who's not a politician. He is clearly getting some forgiveness factor, a couple of mulligans in golf parlance. He made some missteps. He's apologized for them, and people are okay with that. The polls after those incidents have been better.
Okay, but given the fact that there's sort of this ambivalence, I mean, the Republican side of the equation they just don't feel real strongly, it seems, about their candidate right now, and there's a lot of movement which indicates that they're not satisfied with the current crop. Do you see, number one, the possibility that we could see another Republican enter the race, or number two, the emergence of a third party that might have significant appeal to some?
Yeah. Number one, I don't think that there are any Republicans getting into the race. Filing deadline for New Hampshire is today. I don't think that's going to happen. So love the one you're with is the message that I think is out there.
Stephen Stills.
Even still. And I do think that the third party thing is a possibility, but it gives shivers to Republican operatives around the land. Ron Paul was on our segment, Center Seat Wednesday, and in the online portion. We asked him about that, and he had an answer that said he was really trying for the Republican nomination, and he's doing well and raising money and blah, blah, blah. And I said, Congressman, will you make a pledge tonight that you will not run in a third-party, independent run? And he essentially said no. He said, I can't do that.
Well, and he gave up his seat this time around, which is different than the past times he's run.
Yeah, I mean, the going bet is that he wouldn't do a run if he doesn't get the nomination, because it would be really tough in the party on his son, Rand Paul, a senator from Kentucky. But if he did run, I mean, arguably he could get, who knows, 10. Ross Perot got 19%.
That's right.
But and that essentially handed that election over to Bill Clinton in 1992. So this election is going to be close no matter what. If you look back to 2000, Ralph Nader, essentially gave the election to George Bush because Ralph Nader's votes in Florida could have been Al Gore votes.
What was the exact quote that Ron Paul gave? He said it was he was pledging. His pledge was that he doesn't intend to run at this time, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it left a little bit of a loophole. But did you get this?
I don't intend to do that. I can pledge to you that that's not my plan right now.
Not your plan. That's a lot of wiggle room in that, huh?
I'm curious because I watched that center seat with Ron Paul, and it was pretty interesting. And you guys got him on foreign policy, and it's where a lot of Republicans say, could I vote for this guy because of his stance on foreign policy? What kind of feedback do you get? Because anytime we do a segment on Ron Paul, we get lots and lots of emails and lots and lots of calls.
Yeah.
What is the response? Because obviously you could tell that Steve Hayes and Krauthammer didn't agree with him on a lot of things, especially when it comes to Iran.
Right. Well, it's a mixed response. I mean, his supporters are very, let's say, loyal and vocal, and they email frequently.
Right.
I think the response we got overall was that a thank you for people who don't support him and supporters for giving the time, and we think that that's a value to give candidates the time to ask answer tough questions, but time enough to answer, and even more time to answer viewers' questions online. The quote was, "I wouldn't rule it out when I pressed."
Okay.
About the third-party run.
It is a great segment, and I implore everybody to, next time there's a candidate on, check it out because you do learn a lot.
It really works, Brett, by the way. It really does.
You know what happened? It was a viewer who emailed in.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Good stuff.
So you got Kane coming up next, is that right? And then you're going to work in Paris sometime down the road?
Newt Gingrich after that, and the toughest of schedules, Governor Romney and Governor Perry, but they've committed.
Okay. Before I let you go, what are the kids going to be for Halloween on Monday? Or you guys do it tonight or tomorrow?
No, we'll do it Monday. So it was a major thing. We got these costumes, Batman and Robin,
Oh.
4-year-old and 15-month-old.
Nice.
And it was all set, and then my 4-year-old decided he wanted to be Scooby-Doo. So now we have Scooby-Doo and Robin.
You just got to turn Robin into Scrappy.
I mean, I might have to go as Batman.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, now I'll pay good money to see that.
All right, Brett, good talking to you.